we go. Okay. So welcome to everyone. I know it's been a few weeks since we've been able to be on live because of summer and travel schedules, but I have been looking forward to this call all day long because I was just telling the girls before I turned on the recording. I don't think I've been this excited for a program in years and years and years. And it's not because there haven't been great programs. It's not because I haven't seen results. It's just, I feel like when you find the one your soul loves, I was telling Vicky, I feel like I'm like handing everybody a big gift and now I get to watch everybody unwrap it. So it's been really exciting to see people doing what I already know is amazing. So excited about that. Tonight's content piece, because we are kind of coming into a new round. I know there are several of you either on the call that are brand new or going to be watching the recording that are brand new. We're going to go over some basics. Like tonight's call is going to be a review for those of you who've been around for a while and just kind of maybe an expectation management kind of piece here, because I think that going into a new program, it's really good to kind of, I call it getting my head on straight. Like I want to know that I'm laser focused on what I want to be doing and how I'm going to do it. And so in the last 7 years of coaching hundreds of women to success with results, and let me just preface that with saying not all the time is that weight loss results. Not everybody's goal is weight loss. Some people's goal has nothing to do with that. Some people's goal is genuinely about getting off of preventative or lifestyle disease management medication. Some people's goal is to gain weight. I have a client who her main goal is to keep her iron levels where they need to be because she's anemic. Like weight loss is, I follow this girl on Instagram who's a big weightlifter, and she's very like macro counting, like all of that, which is not my jam. It's not what I teach, but I love what she posted this recently. She went on a week and a half trip with her family and they went to Disneyland and she's like, I didn't count my macros and all this stuff. And she took a picture and she's like, yes, I did gain. And she's like, her intention is like bodybuilding kind of stuff. She's like, I did gain weight and I did gain body fat, but that is the least interesting thing that happened in the last week and a half. She's like, you know what happened? I had fun. I enjoyed myself with my daughter. I loved every minute of our vacation. And that trip was what it was meant to be. And that's what I want for all of you guys. I want your weight to be literally the least interesting part about you. Yes, sometimes you do have to lose weight, lose body fat in order to be in a healthier body frame. Absolutely. I'm right there. When I started this journey, it was 273 pounds. That does not mean that I just ignored the fact that I was carrying too much body weight. I needed to lose body fat. It's fine. You're allowed to need to lose that. But that should never, ever, ever be the defining piece of whether you like yourself, whether you feel good in your body, how you are doing mental health wise. Like your weight is the least interesting part about you. What I want to see is how strong are you? Can you get up and down the stairs without breathing like you just ran a marathon? Are you able to keep up with your kids? Are you able to? I have one of my clients is a nurse and she's constantly lifting patients in and out of the bed. And she's like, I joined this because I got to do that all night on my night shift and I can't be dead afterwards. And I'm like, yes, like maybe you do need to lose some body fat in order to achieve that endurance goal or to be able to ski with your husband in the winter time, like, and not feel like you're going to die, like whatever. But I want the lifestyle. I want you guys to be focused on that portion of it. And this is just how you're going to get there. The eating, the workouts, the water, the sleep, all of that kind of stuff is just how you're going to get to the life that you really feel energetic in. So that's kind of always my main goal. Like I said, I understand people have, I really would feel more comfortable if this size pants fit. Okay, we can work on that, but I want your main focus to be on your behavior and your habits. So what are the kind of key principles in that? And just so you guys know, the content that I'm bringing you tonight is directly out of our Team Nourish virtual boot camp studio group. Natalia, I don't think you're in there because you do Michelle's group, but she, I think, has a very similar, if not like literally copy and pasted version of this. And Marty, you're in the bod group because we're doing Lift More. And I don't want you to get like group ADD where you're like, oh my God, where is this? So what I'm going to do is just put this in the Lift More group so that you have this as a reference. But I have kept this, it's called the Wellness Community Key Principles up for the last probably 3 or 4 years, because in my time of working with so many people, I found that I'm like giving the same advice to every single person. I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. So I just wrote it all down, and it is the guiding principles of how I believe you can always see results every time. And if you aren't seeing results, I can trace it back to something on this list. So I'm going to go over those with you guys, because like I said, tonight's going to be a review for those of you who have been around for a while, or it's brand new for you. And maybe you already do some of this. But to me, that's like, we call those in like the mindset coaching world, we call those ghost goals. Those are the things, like for me, I read my Bible every single day. You don't have to tell me to read my Bible. I don't need it on a checklist. I don't need it. Like, it is a part of the fabric of who I am. It's the same thing for some people for water intake. Maybe you don't struggle with water intake at all. We call it a ghost goal. Great. That one's an automatic check mark for you. But my guess is something on this list is not an automatic check mark, which is why we need to, prioritize those. So the first thing, and we're going to go over the water thing again, you'll hear it a lot, is half your body weight in ounces of water. I mean, growing up, we were all like, oh, 8 glasses a day. Well, my glass is this big and your glass is this big. And what the heck does that mean? Right? Like, and you're 200 pounds and I'm 273 pounds and you're 104 pounds. So you're telling me we all need 8 ounces or 8-ounce glasses of water a day? No, ma'am. You need the water that is appropriate for your body. And so because we are all different shapes and sizes, we all live in different climates. Some of us live in, Hawaii. Some of us live in the desert. Some of us live in, not the Arctic, but Maine. You need different things because you're a different human. So the baseline goal for everyone at minimum is half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that's 100 ounces. If you weigh 180 pounds, it's 90 ounces. I don't know. I started drinking a gallon of water several years ago, and that has just been my standard for my body. It's about 100 and what is that? I think it's 140 ounces, something like that. I got a half-gallon bottle of hydro jug and I drank 2 of them a day. My main kind of encouragement, because I hear big spectrums, like don't have any problems with water, all the way to my God blessed sweet mother who doesn't want to drink water because she doesn't like to pee. I'm like, cool. She's like, well, I drank 2 cups of coffee. I'm like, that doesn't count, Linda. I'm sorry. Like the coffee doesn't count. Coffee has caffeine, which is a diuretic. It dehydrates you. If I feel like if you're nitpicking water in your cucumbers, you're not, like, just stop and just drink water. It's not that hard. Just drink the damn water. Right. If you're struggling with flavors or temperature, that's all stuff we can tweak, but just drink the water, get a big container, measure it out. And you can either drink it out of something large, or you can, what I have downstairs and how I keep when I did 75 hard, this is what I started doing, was I bought a gallon jug of water from the grocery store, and I just refill that every night and stick it in the fridge, and I use it to pour from, because I know at the end of the day, if that gallon jug is empty, I've done my job. Easy peasy. Like I said, if you have a real struggle with it, we can discuss tips and tricks, because I've helped a lot of people increase their water, and I'm positive I can help you too. Second one, simple, consistent, nutrient dense breakfast every morning. And that's a lot of words to say something very simple. Pick a breakfast and stick with it. Okay. I want it balanced between carbs and proteins. If you're following 2B mindset, and that's the plate it method, we're looking for half protein, half carbs. If you're following Autumn's guidance with the containers and all of that, great. You're going to, again, make sure there's protein and there's carbs. Because sometimes I feel like I don't need to say this, but also I'm going to reiterate it just in case you forgot, or maybe you just didn't know. Carbs are energy, and your body needs them. They're really, really important. The Lord made your body, and the Lord made carbohydrates for a reason, and your body needs them. Your brain functions so much better when you give it glucose. It's a thing. And so that those carbs can come from grains, those carbs can come from fruits, but I want you having a consistent breakfast. I personally choose Shakeology, which I know I've spoken with almost everybody on this call about at some point or another, because I believe it is such a mindless, healthy thing. I always try to reiterate that the more you can automate healthy lifestyle, the more the odds that you are going to be successful, like quadruple or triple or 10 times. Because if you have to think about every single decision you're making, you're giving yourself so much time to choose something that's not healthy for you, or to choose what you've always chosen, which was getting you the results you always got. And so if we want healthier results, we want a healthier body, pick something and stick with it. I don't care if it's eggs and toast. I don't care if it's oatmeal and blueberries and, egg whites. I don't care if it's Shakeology. I choose Shakeology because I know no matter what, I'm doing the best thing for my body. I'm filling some nutrient gaps first thing in the morning. I don't have to think about it anymore during the day. And I don't have to cook it. So 2 thumbs up for that. So pick something, stick with it, and do that. Another one of the key guiding principles that I really, really encourage is to limit your carbs after 4 p.m. And that is something that I went back and forth on, because I do think that's a little blankety, because there are some exceptions to that rule, and we're going to talk about some exceptions to that rule in just a second. But I would say if I work with 100 women, 95 of them, that rule counts. Carbohydrates and I always say 4 o'clock, but it's not like if you ate carbohydrates at 4:10, I'm like, oh God, you messed everything up. Your body doesn't know any difference, but here's the science behind it. And here's why I feel like 95% of people I work with need to stick to that guidance, especially if your goal is weight loss, is because carbohydrates are energy, right? We've already covered that. You don't need as much energy in the evening. Your body, what happens is you start slowing down. Maybe you sit down on the couch, you have, popcorn with your husband. Popcorn is fun and it's a nice treat, but guess what? It's also mostly starch and carbohydrates. So you've just given your body energy, and your body's like, awesome. What should I do with this? Well, an hour later, your show's over, you brush your teeth and you go to bed. Your body's still like, cool. So I'm going to convert this to glucose, which is going to convert to fat because I'm not using it. Therefore, your body is going to gain more body fat. If you want to burn body fat, you need to cut off the supply before you're done expending the energy. That's just going to help you. Again, it's going to help you lose weight, burn body fat, however you want to phrase it, more efficiently than almost any other trick, tip, hack, whatever. And it's really just science, because like I said, carbs are energy. If you're not using energy, it's going to convert it into fat eventually. There are some exceptions to that, and I'll go over those with you. I get a lot of people that are very like rule follower, perfectionistic kind of people who are like, okay, well, I really want to have the steak salad that has strawberries in it, but I know strawberries are primarily a sugar, which makes them kind of fall into the fiber-filled carbohydrate area. So can I just not have strawberries? Oh my God, no. If you want a handful of strawberries on your salad, have a handful of strawberries. I'm talking about things like corn tortillas and rice and sweet potatoes and white potatoes and things like that your body needs more, like literally more time to use, and the daylight's running out kind of thing. Also, that goes into drinking alcohol. It's a carb, so that's what's going to happen. I know, I'm sorry, Vicki. I feel the same. Okay. I like a good beer. I like a good drink. So, and that's not like a okay, you can't ever have it. You just need to know the more often you have carbs in the evening, you're kind of sabotaging the fat burning that happens overnight in your body. And so we want to give you the best chance, the best opportunity for success in that. And so you just have to work your body a whole lot harder if you choose not to adhere to that rule. So like I said, nitpicking, that's not what I'm talking about. The second exception to that is evening workouts. If you work out in the evening, and when I say evening, I mean 4 o'clock and after, or you work an overnight shift, you're up till 2, 3 in the morning, not up playing video games, not up binge watching Netflix, but I mean like up. I have a girl who works an overnight shift at a grocery store and she stocks shelves. I mean, from 8, I think they close at, no, not 8, 10 p.m. until 2 a.m. Homegirl is stocking shelves. She is active. She is moving. She needs fuel. She doesn't fall into that category kind of thing. Her digestive rest period would be approximately, I would say, like 4 to 5 hours before you go to bed. You're kind of going to start tapering off of the carbohydrates. That in no way means I want you to move those carbs to the morning and to the lunch. So I get on people a lot in the group about carbs at lunch. I see a lot of low carb lunches and I'm like, oh, good for you. I love all the veggies. Where are your carbs? And they're like, well, I just, had my low carb lunch and I don't understand why I keep binge eating at night. And I'm like, well, because you didn't fuel your body enough during the day. That is what happens. Okay. So, and again, during the question and answer part, we can nitpick some other stuff during that, but I just kind of want to get through this too. The next kind of key guiding principle for every single person is more veggies, more better. More veggies, more results. The more vegetables you have, and I'll explain a little bit of science background because I'm a big why girl. The more veggies, the better results you get. You'll see me in accountability. I get on every single person all the time. Like, oh, that's awesome. You did so good today. Also eat more vegetables. Like, really love that you had green beans with dinner, but like that was your only vegetable for the day. We need to make sure. And I say that because vegetables are highly nutrient dense and they are typically lower in calories, which means you're going to get full and feel full, and your body and your, between your micronutrients and your macronutrients, they're going to be satiated. So you're going to be craving a lot of stuff. You've kind of filled those gaps. And so you aren't as likely to be binge eating. I also am a very firm proponent for how do I want to say this? I usually give an example, which is my daughter, Eden. She's 8. And I don't know if I'm trying not to give her a complex because I grew up with lots of like body image and food things, but she'll walk up to me and she's like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, okay, well, it's 2 o'clock. What do you hungry for anything? I want chips. And I'm like, well, how about we start with a vegetable first? I don't want vegetables. I don't want carrots. I don't want bell peppers. She eats those things. It's not like I'm trying to force feed her something she doesn't like. I just don't want that. Well, honey, then you aren't hungry. You're snacky. Go drink some water. And if you want to eat some carrots or some bell peppers or some tomatoes or something fresh and whole, right? And then reevaluate, we'll discuss that later. But like it's like living your life based off of emotions, and we don't want to do that. So I always defer to more veggies. Like if you're at dinner and you've conditioned yourself to go back for seconds, just go back for seconds of the vegetables. Eat that. Reevaluate where we are. And then if you still want more protein, go eat more protein. Like it's fine to be hungry. We've discussed the 5 different types of hunger. Your body needs food, so please feed it. But I usually encourage people to start with the vegetables because again, they're going to be nutrient dense, lower calorie. They're going to keep you full kind of thing. The next one is about working out. Follow the workout calendar. This is really simple, silly advice, but like, it's not that hard. You're given a workout calendar for a reason. Like, I understand that vacations happen sometimes, and sometimes you have to reconfigure things. That's fine. But what I get frustrated with people, and the reason this rule is in the key principles, or the principle is in the key principles, is because I have a lot of people who be like, well, it didn't work. Danielle, I don't understand why this workout program didn't work. And I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's, figure it out. What's going on? Well, I mean, I did 2 of the workouts and then I like went walking the rest of the days. I'm like, well, sweetie, you didn't follow the workout count. Like, I'm sorry that your arms aren't stronger, but you have to work your arms in order for them to get stronger. Like, the workouts are put together on purpose for a reason. These aren't random YouTubers that are just like picking up weights and putting them down and filming themselves. These are very, very highly trained, incredibly dedicated and credentialed trainers. They know what they're doing. So just follow your workout calendar. Your life will be so much easier. And then the last principle that I always, and again, I feel like if I don't hear from you, you're going to hear from me kind of thing, is accountability and communication are massive with me. And my marriage is better when I communicate effectively. My parenting is better when I communicate effectively. This is no different. If I had a boss and I never communicated with that boss, do you think that we would have a good working relationship? No. Do you think that I would probably be very effective at my job? No. Well, this is exactly the same thing. As your coach, I cannot help you if you do not communicate with me. And I was on a call earlier today too with a nurse, and my example to her was, if I walked into my doctor's office and I only gave them like a piece of the story about what's going on, can they help me the most that they can? No, they can't. If I go in complaining of a bellyache and I'm like, my stomach just hurts. And he asked me, okay, well, what did you eat? And I say, well, I had a cheeseburger. And he's like, oh, okay. And that's the last question he asked. And I didn't fill him in on the fact that I also ate batteries. He can't help me feel better. You have to give him the whole story. So the same thing with me. If shit has hit the fan and life is chaotic and you're going through some stuff and you just disappear and ghost, I can't help you. A simple text goes a really long way. Hey, Danielle, we've got a lot of family problems going on right now. Might be out of nightly accountability for a little while. Just wanted to let you know. Typically you'll hear back from me that's like, hey, no problem. Totally get it. Life's chaotic. What can I help you with to keep you on track? That kind of thing. I have people that like, this is a really relevant example. I had somebody who was incredibly, incredibly highly triggered by all of the social media storm that happened when the Roe versus Wade thing got overturned. I mean, she really, really shut down and she's like, I can't be on social media right now. Yes, my group is on Facebook. And so she's like, how can I stay accountable? Had she just disappeared, I never would have known what happened. And yeah, I can reach out to her and all of that, but it's a reciprocal relationship, right? Like the more you communicate with me, the better coach I can be for you. So just know, the more info, you're never over communicating. I'll tell you if you're over communicating, I promise. But those are kind of the key guiding principles for our group, for all of the people that I work with. I feel like if you're not seeing results, let's go back to that list. Let's just do a quick little self-evaluation and you can probably figure out where the lack is and where we can work on. Don't think you're in this alone. If you find a lack, if you say like, man, I'm really struggling, and we're going to, after I stop the recording and we go into question and answer, we can kind of drill down some of this stuff. But like, if you're finding you're really, really struggling with water and you reach out and you're like, hey, Danielle, I can't get past, 30 ounces of water a day. It's really a huge struggle. Have a conversation. You don't have to just muscle through. Like, that's what I'm here for. That's also what our group is for. So post in there, because all of the women in that group, they're either like literally right where you are, or they're just one day ahead of you, or maybe they're 10 days ahead of you or a year ahead of you. They've got insight and wisdom that can help you too. So I always encourage that the group is a community. It's not just the Danielle show. I have never, ever wanted that. It's way too much pressure and I'm going to fail you. But as a group, we are so much stronger together. So I want everyone to make sure that you're leaning into that community, so that we can all be the best versions of ourselves we can possibly be. So, okay, I'm gonna stop the recording now. Thank you for those of you who are watching the recording.